The issue is that's causing you to not want to constantly keep reading the Bible and gaining more knowledge. It's not that you don't want to read it, you just can't understand how to read it. Have you ever experienced this too, right? You would read the Bible, and let's say you read a chapter over and over and over again, but for some reason it just doesn't stick. You also don't know how to actually apply the scriptures into your life. So it's like you're just reading in vain. You would just read and then forget what you said, forget what happened. And then when the things happen that you did read about, the trials and tribulations come. It's those trials and tribulations, it takes over what the word tells you to do. There's a parable that talks about that in Matthew as well, about the sower when the troubles of the world comes, they go back into their old ways. We're going to use my framework. I call it the system flow. And it's 5 steps that allows you to break free, build, and master any single system there is. Now with clarity stage 1, I like to do this method called the reverse pyramid method. You start off with clarity stage 1 and you just get everything out on a piece of paper, and then you keep on, or type it out, and you keep on working your way down till you get to that thing, that actual action that you're going to be taking to practice. The first thing that you got to ask yourself is, how do you learn and retain information the best? Think about when you were in school. Look at the comparison. What were the classes where you was able to retain the information and the knowledge so good? It could have been the way that the teacher taught. It could have been the actual way that the lesson was, the actual subject. And then think about the ones where you absolutely despise it. You can't even remember a single thing. Write that down, identify that. Because when you're studying the Bible, you want to remove all of those things that you did that you hated, that you couldn't retain the information. And you want to implement those things where you did remember, you do retain information. And think about it not just back in school, but now. What things that you do, how do you retain information the best? Is it by visualizing? Is it by drawing? Is it by journaling? Is it by singing? Whatever way that you retain information the best, identify that, because that's what you're going to be using to read the Bible and understand the Bible. And for me, how I do it is I love to learn through parables. I love to learn being able to visualize things. And I will explain this in a second with how I'm doing this right now. And then on top of that, go slow. Go chapter by chapter. Don't try to focus on book by book, because right now we're trying to build up to the consistency. When you try to apply this into reading a whole book, you're going to lose the knowledge. You want to take your time with it. And this is what I do. I go chapter by chapter by chapter. Because what does it profit you to say that you read the Bible versus you're not applying anything that you read? You can read the Bible all the way through front to back 500 times. And if you don't apply or remember anything that you read, what's the point? Because the word says it's better to not know righteousness than to know righteousness and then depart from it. So it would have been better to not even pick up the Bible if you're not going to apply it. And you want to actually apply it. You want to remember it, but you just don't know how. This is how. Do chapter by chapter. And then on top of that, what makes this even more powerful, instead of reading the Bible from front to back, like starting with Genesis, then going to Exodus, and instead of reading it like that, read it in seasons. What season are you currently going through right now in your life? Are you going through a Job season? Are you going through a Joseph type of a season? Are you going through a season of isolation? Are you going through a season of flourishing where you've been blessed with a lot of things and you don't want to fall and you want to be able to use those blessings the right way? What season? Identify that, write that down as well. And those are the books that you're going to be reading. Why? Because this is so much more powerful, because these are direct things you can actually implement right now today. What I mean by this is, if you are a single man or woman, no wife, no husband, and no kids, You sitting here trying to have a super deep study session right now in this season on how to father your children, how to be a mother, how to be a wife, how to be a husband. Right now in this season, how can you apply that today if you don't even have a significant other or have any children? See what I'm saying? This is what I mean by focus on that season that you're in, and then you're going to read that book. So we identified first is what is your way of learning, determining what season that you're in, and then determining the books that correlate to that season, and then take it chapter by chapter, not book by book, because some books are, for example, Proverbs, 31 chapters long. And then when you identify that, you apply, and this is where now you've got all this clarity. We went from clarity stage one and went all the way down the ladder. Now we have our actual practice. And what this practice is going to look like for you is just focus on one chapter at a time. It doesn't have to be one chapter a day. If you have more opportunities to read throughout the day, cool. But focus always every single day, at least one chapter of deep dissection. Not just reading it, dissect it and understand it, and apply your way of learning as you're reading. I want to show you what this looks like for me. I am in a season of seeking more wisdom, understanding right from wrong, because the season that God has put me in, it requires me to better myself as a person. It requires me to know how to navigate in the world, to know righteous from evil. Because with my business and my mentorship and my content, I see what God is doing in my life. He's sending so many people my way. And I know He's going to send those good people. And I know the enemy is going to try to send the tares that comes disguised as the angel of light, as those good people, to try to tear me down. And I know God is going to send those people my way that He can use me to help build them up. And I don't want to, anybody that God sends my way, I don't want to lean into my own understanding and not allow Him to use me to help them grow. So I have to continue to keep learning how to grow, how to gain more wisdom, how to understand how this works. So for me, Proverbs. Proverbs is my favorite book. And so I got that, and my way of learning is through parables, through analogies. Because a parable is an analogy. It's something that breaks it down so you can actually visualize it. It takes the concept, the message that you want to say, and gives it a type of a story so you can actually visualize and understand it more. That is my way of learning, and that's how I teach. And with me visualizing it and putting in those scenarios, it sticks with me a lot more because I remember those scenarios. So I identified the way that I want to learn. I identified what season that I'm in right now. One chapter, and this is how I do it. Right now, I have on this left side, I don't know if you probably can't see it. That's perfectly fine. This is my note taking, and on the right side is the actual chapter. So what I'm doing is I'm going verse by verse, and when I get to a verse that sticks out, that applies to me, I dissect that verse and I turn it into a analogy. For example, Proverbs 1 and 5, it says, a wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to actually dissect this verse and say, okay, how can I analyze this? And what I wrote was, to gain wisdom, one must continue to learn, never thinking he knows all. Instead, he acts as if he's in an endless dungeon battle where every new level rewards you with a reward greater than the last. Because I used to always play video games. For example, what was it? Like solo leveling, right? He went into the castle, level 1, and he had to go all the way to level 100. This dungeon, you don't even know when the max. You keep going. There's always another boss level. And think about it. The higher the boss levels that you go up, the greater reward that you achieve. And that's how I look at it. Every time you beat that boss, there's another boss that's there, and he gives you a greater reward than the last. And you constantly keep seeking that. So you never stop. You never feel like you know it all. So when it comes to me in every area of my life, how can I apply this today? I'm constantly seeking improvement, learning. When I'm making these videos, I constantly seek ways that I can give the message a lot clearer. When I'm editing, how can I make my editing better? When I'm trading, how can I make my flow in trading better? My training, my mentorship, how can I become a better mentor towards those people that work with me? How can I help them? And then the next one says, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. I was gonna type this out, but I just ended up turning it on the camera. So I'll explain to you what I'm thinking of this. And a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. That means you surround yourself around wise people. Using that same analogy of the dungeon battle, I look at it as okay, and when he is in need of guidance, because nobody can ever do it alone. I've never done everything in my life alone. God planted people in my life during different seasons, and God was always there for me. So I never did it alone. Jesus didn't even do it alone. So when he is in need of counsel, when he is in need of wisdom, when he is in need of learning, he's going to surround himself around wise counsels, meaning applying this to the same dungeon battle type of a style. When I'm trying to reach this next boss level, I'm going to ask the wise people that already beat that boss. I'm going to ask those men that are 20, 30, 50, a level ahead of me. I'm gonna be around those people, even the ones that are on, like we're still constantly keep growing. I'm gonna ask them, it's like, yo, how are you beating your boss battle? You know, I had a little bit of a challenge with this one. And you went straight through it. Like it was easy for you. This one was a little bit more challenging for me. This one was easy for you. How did you do that? What did you do? What did you apply? Because that person who is, let's say you were a little bit of ahead of them. Let's say I'm on level 50. I'm on level 50 and he's on level 48. But he done learned something on level 48. Now he's level 48, level 49, 50, 51, 52. Now I'm at 51, he at 56. It's like, yo, bro, you leveling up. What did you do? I appreciate you for the gym. Much love. Let's keep leveling up together. And he comes to me and he asks me, yo, how are you getting X1Z? How did you do this? I tell him. It's like, oh, so now guess what? Now we boost. Now we got a attribute boost. We start doing this together instead of one of us alone. Two are better than one, right? Why not? Why not? Let's take out this level 50, level 60 boss battle together. You see what I'm saying? Also, what I mean, like that wise counsels. I'm not about to sit here and ask somebody, if I'm on level 50, I'm not about to sit here and ask somebody who hasn't even started level 1. Yo, well, give me some advice on it. Somebody who got to the boss level of level 5 and quit and gave up and didn't even see it all the way through. Lost one time and completely gave up. Who's not even trying to fight. They're sitting there, they're at the beginning. They're in the waiting area. They don't want to go to the next town because they're afraid. They're afraid of that next battle. Why would I seek out wisdom and knowledge from this person when they're not even doing it themselves? All of this is from one verse, bro. And that works for me. You apply it to whatever way that works for you. Hope this little video did help you guys. If you guys want one-on-one mentorship from me personally, where we do things like this in any area of life, we break free and build any system and master any system that you want. That could be when it comes to the Bible, that could be your spiritual journey, that could be trading, fitness, health. It doesn't matter because we follow the same exact framework every single day. And we constantly keep going and going and going until you have a guaranteed actual blueprint and guaranteed actual, if you practice this system will become automatic. If that's something that you're interested in, DM me blueprint on Instagram and we can get started immediately. I currently have an offer going right now for the first 10 people that do sign up, and there are a few spots left. Once those spots are filled, I'm going to put the price back to what it normally is. But if you get in before that, then that is your locked rate forever until you decide to cancel your mentorship. If this video alone was enough to give you the seed, plant the seed, and allow you to go start taking action today, more than happy, more than grateful enough for it. If you could just like the video, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next one. Also, because you guys, if you actually literally stayed here to the end of the video, let me know what it is that you struggle with, because I can make more videos like this, breaking down my systems and how I do it, and give you some gems and some nuggets that you can apply to your life in that specific system. If that is the case, just let me know. Type it out in the comments. If you want it to be more private, just shoot me a DM on Instagram. I have all that stuff in the description, and I'll still make a video for you, because I know that same thing that you struggle with, somebody else does as well. Love you guys so much. Catch you on the next one.